Streatham Space Project, please welcome to the stage, Kill James Bond.
This one will not last for the entire show.
Daddy's back.
Hello, Streatham. I'd love to say it's nice to be back, but we're here against our will.
They keep making these pricks!
You see, the thing is, right, if you've followed the podcast, you know, I watch Criterion Collection, right? Like, I have a BFI subscription. I like to watch films that are good. I like to watch Wong Kar-wai, and
There's nothing more pathetic than an aging hipster.
And so, we are forced to confront Austin Powers.
Mixed reactions from the audience. some of Austin's family in tonight?
They made 3 of these, and we felt every minute of them, believe me.
This one was all right. I actually had an okay. This one was kind of acceptable to me.
It's a long
This does not
decline,
last.
right? It gets a lot worse from here. But so we begin in the 1960s with a classic for us, a Blofeld bit, right? Like, we all love getting comedy out of the management relations of Spectre, right? Please touch your hand to the metal plates, all of these things.
Hack jokes. Who would try and parody James Bond to make it funny?
Mike Myers. And I tell you what, he manages it in this movie sometimes, because in this movie we start with Dr. Evil. Now, Dr. Evil is Donald Pleasance Blofeld 5% gayer.
In this film, 5%.
Yeah,
5 and rising.
It's Donald Pleasance Blofeld, but who has a shower attachment. Like,
Donald Pleasance Blofeld, who has felt another man's breath sink up with him.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And also a bit Trump-like. It captures the same kind of affect as Trump, where he says words a bit weird. And But so we are introduced to his evil cabinet. And let me tell you, first of all, this movie is struck by Will Ferrell in brown face.
Yeah!
Oh my fucking god.
Immediately!
I remembered this character. Like, I was aware of this guy.
yeah.
But the second, like, he appeared on the screen, I was like, oh my fucking god.
They really did it.
Fez.
They really fully do it. In a fez, in sunglasses. And this is like a 60s spy movie type. Fine, right? Why does it have to be Will Ferrell? Because he's one of Mike Myers' friends. And we will run into this throughout the next 3 hours of content. A lot, believe me. But we have him, Mustafa, and we have Frau Farbissina, who is sort of the Rosa Klebb of this movie. Sort of evil, sadistic woman, a little bit Rosa Klebb and a little bit this one Canadian nurse called Lotta Hitchmanova, because there's a lot of Canadian in-jokes in this that are only funny if you're Mike Myers. This is another problem for this movie.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mike Myers Canadian?
Yeah, afraid so.
That doesn't feel right to me. Like, I believe you.
I attacked on both sides. No, they walk among us. They look like normal people. They don't talk like them, but they look like normal people.
Could be in
someone
this very
you know,
room.
maybe a Canadian.
He's biologically Canadian.
A Canadian-bodied person in my space,
Yeah, ACAB.
my Streatham space.
We can always tell!
You just hand them a bag of milk and you try and gauge their reaction. You know, never fails.
Trying to change the law so the Canadians have to use a separate toilet. This is very That's like the 5 genders of just like male, female, no gender, like the South Asian, like Jess
That's
Phillips
right,
said,
that's right.
trans people and Canadians.
It's a toilet with like a maple leaf on the door and a lot of really disappointed stoners in there. It's like, fuck.
So Dr. Evil is very upset about their failure to, and this gives us our briefing, right, for this.
We must kill Austin Powers.
Thank you.
That's right. And now we have to go and see Austin Powers, which means it requires us to go to... I just have this on speed dial. This is like drop number 1. I just have this right here because there's going to be a lot of it. And this next scene, it's a challenge for me as a lifetime member of the More Movie Dance Sequences Club. You have to like trust in the institution, and you have to believe that like when bad actors enter it, it's still worth preserving. And that's the way I feel about this dance opening. It's a hard day's night, right? It's Beatlemania. Austin Powers dressed very much like this.
Thank you.
Velvet suit, cravat, National Health Service glasses, nominally a fashion photographer by day, spy by night.
I couldn't find glasses that looked good enough, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I tried, but I just, the vision wasn't there.
But they don't make things anymore in this country.
They don't. I gotta be honest with you. I think this is funny.
Apparently, they also don't make Mike Myers in this country.
No.
What is happening to our society
A
that we can't
strategic
even...
Mike Myers gap.
See, I'm
is
now
developed.
offended retroactively by the teeth
I'm
thing.
madder about...
I wasn't originally because I was like, okay, this man is making fun of Britain. Yes, we are very silly. Yes, we are a joke country for losers.
Yes.
But I'm like, no, you can't say that if you're from Canada. A famously serious nation.
He went to an American dentist and had them make him up British teeth. Which
the fuck?
He is wearing this prosthesis, this dental prosthesis, through the whole movie of like bad teeth, right? Which is insulting. It's stolen valor. I worked very hard to get these teeth this bad. A lot of years went into this, and he thinks he can just, enter into like my spaces. He doesn't have this like shared cultural background. He'll never know what it is to be British.
I do think, and this is me putting up me defending this right at the top because it will not fucking last. But I do think there's a nugget there of something very humorous to be like, look at this fucking guy. That is the sexiest person a Brit can imagine.
Yeah,
And I was there like, I'm owned.
That is a funny joke that like women really desire Austin. He's like really cool when it's like this is the sexiest man in Britain. He's just like a little like toad. That's funny if you're British.
All right, for the next hour and a half, we're going to be teaching you about the concept of in-groups and out-groups.
Who the law must bind and who must enforce.
Yeah, the law must bind Austin Powers. When will it start binding Austin Powers? I'm asking this very strongly.
But the dance party opening where he's like walking down the street and then all the people are like dancing and he's leading a parade and stuff, that is very cool and it is very impressive the first time.
And the main joke that this wants you to know is, again, this is the sexiest man in Britain, right?
I don't like that he's pointing right at me.
From behind, too. It's quite threatening.
I'm not worried by it. It's like,
you're next, baby.
What does he know?
oh, fuck.
So at the end of this dance sequence, he gets into a Jaguar type, which it's unfair to put a Union Jack on a Jaguar type.
Yeah, vandalism.
It's not its fault it was born here. It's trying to be better, right? Aren't we all?
People will just put Union Jacks on anything these days.
It's a joke that won't make sense on the recording, and we're
I'm
not
doing
going to
physical
explain.
Should have been here live,
Just
shouldn't you?
to
That's
own
right.
the people who are listening later. You are the in-group that I bind. No, the other way around. I protect
You're all
you, but
being
I don't
bound
bind
by
you.
us right now.
And the E-Type is being driven by a sexy lady, Mrs. Kensington.
Mrs. Kensington.
That's right.
Yes. And that's Austin's partner as a spy. And
Crucially, not in a romantic sense.
no, attracted to him, but not willing to make the leap because she's a Mrs. Kensington, and that's, respectable. At which point, we get Basil exposition on the car phone. Michael York. Does anyone know anyone related to us who can do a Michael York impression? Because we should have thought of that ahead of time at this point.
We really needed an
Should
impressions
have
guy.
wheeled Milo out.
He's in
What,
Australia.
like fucking Hannibal, like Gurney thing.
Take the
Getting
thing off.
sucked off by a twink. That's what they want these days. It's like wheeled back out. Okay, thank you, Milo.
Well, if you can get him.
So I don't have a Michael York impression. I just have a drop of him saying,
I never forget a pussy.
wrong. Oh my God. I'm fucking up so badly, boys. Put me down like a racehorse. I have a drop of him saying,
The electric psychedelic pussy.
because you got to go to a second location, big man. You just got to. And at that secondary location, Dr. Evil has laid a trap for you. Now, they drive to
The electric psychedelic pussy.
There's a bunch of sort of little cameos of like, oh, you might remember this person
What is
from
the
60s.
wait list on that?
Yeah, you pretty much have to go abroad.
Centuries.
Yeah.
I thought the pull through. I thought that was the latest thing. No. It's all about.
The electric psychedelic pussy.
It's like carbon capture, you know, we hope it will be invented. We put all of our faith, our trust into the fact that someone will invent.
The electric psychedelic pussy.
But, not yet.
I'd love to get on this, but I can't reach the...
Hang
on. I'm going to do this just for the sake of it.
The electric psychedelic pussy.
There you go.
Yes!
Nerd alert!
She doesn't have a... That's not funny, Devon. Drops.
No, so
Thank
I'm
Christ.
powerless over you. But they go to the electric psychedelic pussy. Austin dances, and he gets his drink order taken by a woman. And Austin remembers another thing that it means to be British, which is violent transphobia.
Straight away.
And this movie instantly incinerates any goodwill it had built up in the previous 4 minutes, because this is minute 5.
Yep.
Like, on God, it's minute 5 when he deploys the line. And this is one of two, the lines. You know what the line is, but I'm going to hit you with the line anyway.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
Yes, we know what that line is because we've had it yelled at us out of cars.
Yeah. So,
That and the Loretta thing, getting real old.
but this joke is less transphobic in context than I remember, and I hate defending this movie, but it really is, because it's a lift of a bit from Thunderball, the bit where Bond fucking hauls off and punches the guy who is disguised as his own widow. But it very abruptly and very obviously changes shots from a female to a male actor before and after the punching. And it makes it so much like more of a slapstick thing.
It's like he punched the gender right off her.
Yeah, but like...
Is it possible to learn this power?
Just punching yourself. But I feel
That's what
like...
happened to me.
Yeah, kicks by a horse, all my gender came out. But...
Again, if you're listening to this after the fact, fuck off.
Yeah. But I feel like it's like Apu in The Simpsons, right? In that, okay, in context, whatever. But,
Just getting in a fight. Do you want to fucking go?
Well, in many ways, the big boy never left, sir.
That would really fucking perturb anyone that you're fighting against, though.
oh, yeah.
You can get one free
Dude,
blow
like,
in.
like Peter Capaldi and Doctor Who level of just...
Yeah.
But so I feel it's like Apu in The Simpsons, right? Where like in context, it's not as bad. Doesn't matter. Fucking kids remember it, and this is a movie for teenagers, right? And this movie is like God's gift to bullies, right? And this still had currency even when like I was in school, and this came out in like 1997. This stuff had like a longer lifespan culturally, specifically amongst kids that bullied you, which...
Yeah, really popular in the bully demographic.
Yeah. And that sucks, especially when as a trans person you have to sit yourself down and go, okay, first thing, our bullies were right.
Okay, they had a point.
Yeah.
All right.
Do have to hand it to them on this one thing.
Like the fifth quadrant in demographic marketing is like male, female, under 25, over 25 bullies.
We've got to add a whole new set of restrooms.
South Asian woman.
Men, women, gender non-conforming people, South Asians, Canadians, bullies. Yeah. Oh, you don't go in that bathroom.
Oh, do not go in that fucking
It's all swirlies.
What is the sign on the door?
It's like one stick figure dunking another into a toilet. But this woman who like gets exposed and gets her wig torn off responds to this the correct way, pulling a switchblade knife and trying to kill the person who did it to you.
That's the one free blow you can get in. Make it count.
Yeah. But Dr. Evil, waiting in the wings, kills her with a spear gun.
And then leaves. And it leads me to ask, what was the trap? Because if that woman was the trap, that joke's way funnier than they thought it was.
Yeah, like time has passed and like this joke is aged like a fine wine.
It's like in some ways not very good. In some ways,
Genius.
All right, they got me.
No, I think the trap was he was just going to wait up there with a spear gun and then when an opportunity presented itself, just shoot Austin Powers. But he's instead like, oh, I gotta shoot my girl.
He would never do
instead.
this.
No,
I
that's
do
true.
appreciate a hands-on villain.
That's true.
Yeah.
From waiting from the wings too. But so he escapes into an escape pod in the form of a Bob's Big Boy. Now, this is
What the fuck is a
What are
big
these?
boy? Is this a Canadian bit?
Yeah, this is Canadian imperialism. So Bob's Big Boy
Well, it appears to be in the shape of a big boy.
is my parents
God.
looking at me in the hospital. Bob's Big Boy is a Canadian American chain of like burger restaurants, right? And they just have a mascot that's like a boy with a burger. And this is transformed into a rocket that Dr. Evil escapes in.
Is that the reference that they're making in The Simpsons where the guys with the donut? Is that the...
I think that's maybe the same thing. I don't know.
Wonderful. I'm learning a lot here. Thank you.
Absolutely. You can get Canadian citizenship after, completing a series of tests about how much you know about, Bob's Big Boy.
Name a second Canadian
Tim
thing.
Hortons?
Nice. Name a third Oh, fuck, it's my turn. Mike Myers. Kind of cold up there, isn't
for
it?
$1, name a Canadian.
I don't pay attention to any Canadians. I don't remember losers.
A third Canadian restaurant, Canadian Tire, I guess. But so he goes into space, is frozen cryogenically, to a time when, as Basil says on the narration, when free love is dead and greed and avarice rule the world. 1997. And that's a joke that's aged better. That's more perceptive than I think the movie made it, intended it to be. But the movie doesn't really stick to that. And I have a theory about why, but we'll get there. First of all, we got to do radar operated bits. And
Spinning the antenna.
God,
Guy I love to see. This actor's name is Clint Howard. He's like a legendary American or potentially Canadian. I'm really shaken by that. I don't know anymore.
could be any one of
I'm
us.
getting worried.
Would you fuck your Canadian double?
No!
I told you last time.
Jesus
yes.
Christ. Imagine the maple syrup just everywhere. Atrocious.
But yeah, the radar operator, whose name is Johnson, played by legendary actor Clint Howard, who calls up like an Air Force colonel and is like, there's a giant big boy on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
And
Does some bits.
Yeah, they
about
do
it.
some bits.
As the big boy returns to Earth, and this general has to go to. I know it's their least favorite drop too, which is why I'm going to keep playing it.
I was genuinely impressed when you didn't like walk out on stage and be like, it's right, KJB, back in. Although you don't think Streatham is London, so...
Don't attribute that to me.
You hate this place.
I didn't say those things.
You keep telling me, why can't we do more central?
I'm being snitch jacketed. I'm being fed jacketed. You're doing a microaggression on me. And I've never said that. I love Streatham.
I'll get
I think
macro
it's-
later.
I think it is in London. Put that on the fucking signs. Welcome to Streatham. I believe it's in London.
Oh, it's called Kelly.
That's right. Move this thing out of the way. Yeah.
You can put that on the floor if you'd like.
You can't see my face.
So we go to the Ministry of Defense where they've cryogenically frozen a bunch of
practical
people.
about it, why don't you?
And Basil Exposition is like, This is our celebrity wing, and I don't know any of these.
You don't know who Vanilla Ice is?
You know who Gary Coleman is?
I've heard of Vanilla Ice.
Gary Coleman, referencing the existence of Gary Coleman, not even anything he did.
Famous
ever,
joke,
really,
the
just
existence
like
of Gary Coleman.
Being like, look, Gary Coleman was such a banger joke for the entirety of the 2000s.
Yeah, you could get a laugh with anything like that. Hey, remember the existence of this guy?
What you talking about, Ellis?
Now you have to
That
do
kind of thing.
Gay Blofeld. Like, it's so much more work.
I was only born in 2002. I don't know who any. To the person who just like did a spit take, I just want to say fuck you.
No, that is true, though. Streatham is in London. Abby was born in 2002. Canada is a real country. All of these things.
Well, let's not strain credulity here.
On knowledge and belief, all of these things are true. But they defrost Austin Powers, which is a fun scene. I get one joke out of it, one drop out of it, really, which is just
Warm liquid goo phase begins.
which is me when I fuck my Canadian double.
So they defrost him and he pisses.
Yeah, this is the
Believe
first
that's the
real,
joke?
the first really good joke in this movie, and that's stretching it.
I was hooting and hollering, baby. I was there like,
Yeah, it's like, you heard of
hold that
piss?
shot.
And the joke is, because he's been frozen for 30 years, he has to piss for a long time. He keeps cutting off the announcer that's announcing when he's done pissing, which we have in all British bathrooms. It's I don't know why they introduced that.
Very astutely observed that he came to Britain and did his research.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gets unfrozen, introduced to this American general and a Russian general. And, oh man, that joke's come back around again because he goes, what, are you crazy letting the fucking Russians in here? And, ooh, tides of history or something. But the joke we get out of it is a good one, which is...
Finally, those capitalist pigs will pay for their crimes, eh? Hey, comrades?
That's right.
You know what? This sex criminal is a comrade.
Well.
Not an unfamiliar sentence for a lot of
Don't call
left-wing
Devin
organizations. This sex criminal pointing at Devon is a comrade. A slightly less common turn of phrase for left-wing organizations in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, because he says why the Russians here says the Cold War's over and that
The end of history has happened, Austin.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over now. We're all friends. And me receiving my Patreon bucks.
Yay, capitalism.
And this is I like this joke. I like that Austin is like either so mercenary or like so cowardly that he's just like, oh yeah, whoever, please take me out of the defroster. At which point we have to go into another sketch because this is another problem that we have, which is this isn't a movie. It doesn't have the structure of a movie. It's a series of sketches because Mike Myers, aside from being a Canadian, is something far filthier. And may Allah forgive me for uttering these words. He was on Saturday Night Live. Now, Saturday Night Live skit, comedy show. And so it's all like this. It's like 5-minute bits that really hammer the punchline home every time, strung together for an hour and a half. And some of them are good, a lot of them aren't. This one's one of the good ones.
Genuinely, the greatest crime in this movie is it just doesn't let a punchline like land and then move on. It never wants to. It's like, did you see what we did there? Or if it's a bad joke, they're like, that was a bad joke, wasn't it? Let's make it 4 more times. And I'm like, stop. On the third one, it's funny again. On the fourth one, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, so I've talked before about like some American comedies that are made now. Somebody will make a joke and then someone else will go, did you just say joke? And then we get beat, then we move on. We haven't quite gotten to that stage yet. It's not quite terminal, but now we do just have joke and someone will just go, joke, and then we move on. So it's not that bad yet, but it does still great.
It's the early stages.
Yeah, the MCU didn't invent this. But first, we have to say hello to Elizabeth Hurley. And I personally am saying hello. To Elizabeth Hurley.
Hello.
Hot Tory. I think we can say that. Look, she has. If you look up any of her views about anything, not great.
Really? Oh!
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but Hot Tory. I know.
Oh, that's a shame.
Problematic fave. Loading the
What a
captive
shame.
bolt pistol.
Oh,
But
Take it back.
But this is Miss Kensington, Vanessa, Mrs. Kensington's daughter. And she's the kind of like, because women in the 90s, right, was stuck up because they had invented feminism. And they didn't want to fuck anymore. And so, the thing that this movie suggests, not even really jokingly, is that the pendulum has swung too far the other way, right? And now
we need a little bit of like 60s machismo to bring things back to,
Yes, because, she has, as Basil said in a line that was cut from the script, a bug up her ass. And I fully just think that Michael York refused to say that, which, given the things that Michael York has said on films, getting sucked off by a twink, things of this nature, that's extreme. And also, by the way, the script for this movie, available online, they cut a great deal from it. I will be making reference to this.
We have a theory about who might be responsible for those cuts, which
I
is
do.
an interesting one. Yeah.
Yes. But so Austin immediately
They say
sexually...
we. It's just those two. They were like hanging out in the locker room talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about
around
all of the things that you said about Streatham, like...
I think it's a fine establishment. I think it's easy to get to. I think the transport links to Central are
thank you for getting an extremely easy journey to Central London.
My train was only delayed 3 fucking times, and I was coming from Victoria.
My bus gave up. I got 2/3 of the way here, and then they were like, "Nah, get up."
Genuinely, the group chat just like before like 6 o'clock was all of us being like, "Yeah, we're all going to be late," and then just being like. TFL is trying to cancel or kill James Bond.
That's true. That is true.
It's the only conclusion we can come to.
Mm-hmm. Well, because of our virulent anti-union politics.
That's right.
But so Austin immediately sexually harasses this woman. He starts calling her baby, for one thing, but also because he has no internal monologue. It's a bit. He like talks about how hot she is. In a way that's distinct from the way that I just did, right? It's fine when I do it.
That was a choice.
Yes, yeah, it's post-ironic. The one post-ironic, that's shit. 2 posts, that's good again, and you're actually obliged to give me your money every month. But so...
I need to get someone backstage with like a big shepherd's hook or something.
Yeah, just hooks onto the back of the belt. But so... She, tries to correct him on the office culture of the 90s.
She says, "Don't call me baby," first of all.
Yeah. But he wins her over. She, like, smiles despite herself because he's like, come on.
Oh, that's a good tactic, yeah.
She's
I'm
like,
just
you can call me Vanessa.
I'm just a little guy. And, like... Here's the thing, right? The movie thinks that Austin Powers is pathetic, but it thinks he's pathetic in the same way that it thinks that James Bond is bad, which is not that he's a rapist, but that he's out of his time.
He's a man out of time, Austin Powers. Something we've never seen before.
That's a good take. We should consider doing that. That's a really good bit, I think. He's a man out of time.
Yeah, wild, right? But yeah,
maybe that's what we need right now. It's some old-fashioned...
Maybe
I've
what we
just
need.
done it again, haven't they?
Just get rid of some of that wokeness, really. So, like, pull things back to the center where you're allowed to call women baby in the office.
They're going to do this again, aren't they? They're just going to do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so this reaches for the same, like, legitimizing bullshit that Bond movies do. And I think one thing I'm just going to lay on the table right up front, movie 1, as we have learned from putting George Lazenby on stage, or the phrase historical allegations.
George.
Those 1960s kinds of masculinity, maybe, just maybe, they weren't as fun for everyone else.
Why couldn't you have just kept quiet? Why did you have to go on the stage at the Sydney Opera House and say she liked it, actually? You dumb Australian motherfucker. Why couldn't you have let me have the man from Hong Kong?
No, I'm sorry.
That stuntman especially didn't like it. Well done to the 3 people who have good memories.
So
remember when we talked about James Bond?
Yeah, remember that?
Who?
We have to deposit ourselves into another skit, which is...
The penis pump scene.
The penis pump scene.
Swedish-made penis enlarger pump.
Because... the guard at the Ministry of Defense, played by Neil Malarkey, who used to be Mike Myers' comedy partner.
It's a great surname.
Funnier than him is the other problem.
Yeah, like, he's really... He makes the scene. He
carries it. He carries this scene on his shoulders. Here is all of your stuff, including...
Swedish-made penis enlarger pump.
which embarrasses Austin. He's like, that's not mine. And there follows a series of like cascading evidence that he is in fact a fan of
it's the receipt for the Swedish penis pump, and he's like, "Oh, it's mine, but it's not actually mine. I don't really like it." It's like, here's a book about that's actually mine, and I like it. By Austin
book
Powers.
I authored about how I don't consider Streatham to be in London. And yeah, Neil Mullarkey like slam dunks this one.
Yep.
It's good.
But at this point, we have to go back to Dr. Evil, and we love management comedy, right? We love confronting Will Ferrell and Brownface some more.
Just like regarding Dr. Evil,
Yes.
this movie spends the entire like first act obscuring his face
Yes, it does.
for a long like. You don't see who Dr. Evil is. You don't do it, and then when they reveal it, like it's not like a punch. They just sort of it's like just a reaction shot.
It's Mike Myers again.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's
Mike Myers in
again.
a bald cap with a fake scar. One thing I will say about this movie, they did not have the Mike Myers movie double technology yet. And so they don't appear in a shot together because they didn't know how to do it. So you get a lot of like reverse shots where it's the back of clearly someone else's head.
Yeah.
It's like a bald dude who they found. Like,
Yeah.
At least we've only got 2 Mikes Meyer. Because holy fuck, do we get a lot of Mikes.
You can graph this because
really easily it does
yeah.
that.
Like as you'll see from
It's
the
like a
script.
PragerU graph number of Mike Myers versus artistic standards over time.
Yeah, very much.
No
Very much.
X-axis, just increasing.
I think the thing is, right, this movie made $50 million, right, which is no small amount of money. Love to have that much someday. If only I could make jokes like this.
Yay, capitalism.
But as it made more money, people stopped being able to say no to Mike Myers. And he started being able to keep more things that he wanted in the script. Because I've seen what got cut from this. And let me tell you, there's a scene where he fully invents a new racial slur.
He does this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you showed me this in the group chat. Yes, he does. Literally, that's not a description that we've embellished. He does, in fact, invent a new racial slur.
He does a bit about how you have to call them sex workers now, and this is a bad thing. He does a bit about how flight attendants can't dress sexy anymore. It's real bad.
What's this fucking movie about, man?
And
just a list of things I'm upset about, and then I do like a...
And then someone saved him from himself. Someone went, no, you can't put that in the movie. Stick with a penis pump. Pump with a penis pump.
Someone whose identity will be revealed later.
Yeah, possibly.
He's in this very room.
So we get introduced to Dr. Evil's henchmen and women, right? There's
Number two is here.
Robert Wagner, stylish eye patch, very distinctive voice. And he's the sort of like business head of the front that Dr. Evil has set up, Virtucon. And the joke here is like corporations, they just do the evil stuff now. Crazy. Didn't happen before, but now, it's very bad. You got Frau Farbissner, who I've mentioned, and you've got, what's this dude's fucking name? It's
Mustafa?
No. There's another guy who is named the way J.K. Rowling would name an Irish character.
Oh, fuck. I can't. I think it is literally Paddy something.
Paddy O'Brien.
Paddy O'Brien.
Paddy O'Brien. Fuck me, Guinness McFightsy. Like, are you I'm so sorry, Tom. Are you fucking kidding me with this shit?
That's all right. I had Seamus or car bombs. It wasn't getting better over here. But like, this is worse, right? Because
I had James Joyce.
Sorry. Let me just scroll here.
Nerd alert!
But so Paddy O'Brien's deal is a Lucky Charms joke, right? He has a little charm bracelet.
It's a long walk to this joke, but it is.
Yeah.
I think it's
did
funny.
get me.
You know it's coming the whole time.
It's good because it's the only time Frau Farbissner gets to do like a bit of acting.
That's true.
Or, well, acting is very generous of me, but she delivers some lines.
So after your Lucky Charms.
All in a row as well.
So
it's
after
good.
your
It's
Lucky
good.
Charms. It's like the cereal commercial.
Yeah, it's like the commercial where the little guy's running around. He wants the biscuits, things like this.
So Dr. Evil announces his plan.
Can you cut that, actually? I didn't like that.
Devin, we're actually live.
All right. Strike that from your memories. like you're a jury in a courtroom. That's going to be stricken from the record, right?
We're live. Hey, do any of you have a bottle opener?
Yeah. Crazy.
Because
Just
genuinely,
this is their
would
table.
anyone
We can't
like to-
Oh, legend!
Thank you so much.
Thank you to the fans.
Your keys are on this. You'll get that back. Do not worry. I'll open these both now, actually, just to be safe.
Yeah. So
Just vamp for a bit.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
I like how whoever got us the drinks has just like sussed us out quite.
Yeah, I have bottled water. You have what, Prosecco and 2 Thatcher's Golds.
They got me a fancy glass.
They got a fucking number.
Outrageous. So Dr. Evil's plan A is we're gonna blackmail the royal family. Now, the joke,
I like these bits.
The joke here is we're going to blackmail them by saying that Prince Charles has cheated on Princess Diana. And that's a topical joke, apart from the fact that she had just fucking died when this movie came out.
Again, a joke that got much funnier.
Yeah, the plan has gone a bit kinetic, right?
But also it's like...
Dr. Evil flooring it in a white Fiat Uno.
He'd look, in a white Fiat Uno, he'd look so good in that.
No.
He would look sick in that.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't work now because the royal family has been rocked by bigger scandals than this.
Yeah, the joke I was going to make, and the one you can't react to, is blackmailing the royal family worked for. So, Plan B.
You have to tell me that story later. I don't even know that.
Oh, this is some like deep QAnon shit. Don't worry about it. I don't remember what Plan B was. Plan C.
Plan B was ozone layer.
Oh, the fucking ozone layer.
Yeah, ozone layer.
It's
Shoot a
very
hole in the
topical.
ozone
Yeah,
layer.
yeah, for sure. This is like very much what's current at the time that we're writing this.
Whipping open a newspaper because I'm writing my fucking movie. Like,
Yeah.
what's fucking going on now? Do you know how you can't even dress sexy when you're an airline hostess anymore?
I think you can if you want to. I think they allow that. I'm not sure. But
Not like podcasters. You can dress sexy as you want.
And that's true. This dress should be about 20% shorter. But so the plan C, is we're just going to do what we always do. And I like this because it is every Bond movie. We're going to steal a nuclear weapon and we're going to hold the world to ransom. Fucking stick with the classics. Yeah, why not?
Play the hits. If it works, it works.
That's right.
And we do also
It's never worked.
We do also meet Scott.
Yes.
we do.
Dr. Evil's clone son. In the script, 15 years old. But I think they decided that was a bad idea for several reasons.
Devastatingly.
Now, the thing is, right, you can't judge people by, our morals in our advanced time. You have to judge them by the morals of their time. You have to judge them by
Pack up the podcast, lads. We're done.
Play the theme tune. All right, thank you. We've been Kill James Bond.
You have to
she had a
judge
punchline.
them by the standards of their time. And at the standards of their time, it was acceptable to cast Seth Green in a movie. It was a long walk to that punchline.
It could have been shorter, but I refuse to let you get there.
You just built one of those airport escalators on a flat plane in front of my punchline.
This stage is now difficult terrain.
Yeah. My halved movement speed towards the punchline.
But I do
Press
quite
the button.
like
Press
this
the
bit.
nerd alert button.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Nerd alert!
Thank you.
I do quite like this joke, which is that whilst Dr. Evil was in space, they used his sperm to create a child. And it's this kind of disaffected, I think he's meant to be a teenager. He acts like a
He is
teenager.
meant to be a teenager.
Got a
yeah.
Kurt Cobain t-shirt because it's,
yeah.
again, topical at the time. That's
But
fine.
I like that when Dr. Evil is confronted with this news, he's quite sincerely moved by it.
Yeah.
And that's a joke that we keep coming back to, that he's just I'm sorry, I haven't been in your life, son. It's actually quite sweet.
Yeah, and Scott's like, no, I hate you. I hate my father. Teenage stuff.
I think that the Scott Dr. Evil stuff is actually good.
Yeah.
I think it's the strongest part of the movie.
Yeah, it's good.
When I say strong, I just we're
There's
grading on a curve here, okay?
There's another dude who we have to meet.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so you remember how in the movie Goldfinger, there was a big Korean dude who was not Korean?
Yeah, so one thing this movie's done better than... We got a real Korean.
Korean American.
Who did not have to train for this role. Just this guy called Jo Son playing Random Task.
Odd job.
Now the thing is, right? If you
brace yourselves.
if you do a fucking racist character as like if you play it straight in a 60s Bond movie, if you just do it again in the 90s as a joke, that's still doing it again. That's the same thing. And this is going to be a recurring theme for the next fucking 2 live shows as well, is you're just repeating the thing. The other thing about this is we found out...
We did some research on this man.
We have done a background check on this individual.
The CRB check on Joseph Son. Because the thing is, right, the trivia section for a movie is not very exciting on Amazon. In this one, the most exciting thing that happened was 2 editors on IMDb having a fight.
That's pretty good.
No, genuinely, because like there are a bunch of notes that were like the curb cuts in the dance scene aren't correct for 1960s London, and someone else editing in
Nerd alert!
and well, you wouldn't expect them to change every curb, would you? And
I would.
I'm fully with the first person. This is an error.
Every frame of fucking painting.
That's right. If everything is in the mise en scène on purpose. But no, that's what most of the trivia is like. You know, goofs, things like this. Oh, you can see the back of some guy's head, and it's clearly not Mike Myers.
Oh, you can see a boom mic shadow in this one.
General trivia: Jo Son, the guy who played Random Task, life imprisonment for torture.
That's a specific
gets worse.
crime. Yeah, hold on.
Because it was torture
genuinely.
in the process of gang rape.
Yep.
And
then after having been in prison, he murdered his cellmate for an additional life sentence. Because you double up on these things, I guess. And
Yeah. Do you know he did this like the movie was just like out. Like he just did this. The victim had a copy of the movie in her house.
It's enough to put you right off your 1960s spy comedy.
it's bad to have for anyone to have a copy of this movie in their house. Especially.
That's true. Fortunately, it's on Netflix, so I didn't have to buy it.
Yeah, no. So good luck getting that out of your head for the rest of the time he's in this movie.
He's the reverse Harold Sakata.
He has to train for 30 years to life to not murder anyone else. Very, very, very striking. Yeah, but so at this point, we go back to Austin's plane on the way to Las Vegas. And man, okay, this is where they cut the flight attendant bits, right? But
there aren't any flight attendants in there. Like, what was he just said it?
They were cut.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were all going to come in. One of them was going to be a man dressed as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
God, the script doctor fucking...
Script doctor, lifesaver. Like, the script doctor with defibrillators, like...
This script was in palliative care. Like they were this
Dead on
close
the
to
table.
turning it off.
Yeah,
It's like a script Christ.
This gets even funnier when you find out my theory about who the script doctor is. But
This was also going to be the inventing a new racial slur scene.
yes, it was. They really packed them in. This would have been like a 1, 2, 3 punch. Instead, it's just
'em.
one punch. And the one punch is he literally tries to jump on Vanessa, like across her back. And
Which is not where the pussy is.
well, I mean, you don't know where they're going to position the
electric psychedelic pussy.
Yeah, you can get that shit put in anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not penile destructive. You can just have that wherever
Oh
you
yeah,
want.
of course. Have a bunch of them, like the
I hate it when
wounds of
things
Christ.
are penile disruptive.
A couple of wounds of Christ,
It's
Fanta.
just a great phrase.
Apparently, there's very few surgeries that are penile destructive.
Penile destructive script surgery. But like he makes the line that people remember from saying, do I make you horny, baby? And we see that he doesn't, right? But she's kind of smiling a bit despite herself. And this is rancid 90s irony misogyny, right? Where it's like, me being pathetic means that it doesn't count that I just said the worst shit you've ever heard. And actually, you secretly love it. What if you don't secretly love it? Don't worry about it. Of course you do. that's not a good place to build a decade on. And trust me, it gets worse for the next two movies.
Yeah, because then we go to their hotel room in Las Vegas, and he's still doing the shit. We get the line, "Should we shag now or shag later?" And she's like, "Austin Powers, I would never have sex with you because it's 1997."
I'm a beautiful, put together woman who is too stuck up for her own good, and I secretly like you, but I don't want to admit it. It's like, no, come on. But Bond movies were doing this shit unironically in the 60s, and it was rancid then. But so
that is me though.
if you want a me though joke, the joke that I have written down in the plane scene is the thing about Austin being pathetic is it's like, imagine a beautiful woman wanting to have sex with a disgusting, ugly, kind of funny, mostly cringe, British person with bad teeth. If you can imagine that, meet me after the show.
All right.
Again, a long walk.
Stop taking such long walks.
No. Because I think the punchline is in London. So, Las Vegas, it looks like shit, right? I don't think it's meant to. It's just, it was the 90s, Napoleon Solo is gambling next to a fucking, dusty window at, 2 in the afternoon here.
I thought you were going to say Napoleon is the master of Las Vegas. 1990.
Casinos are now battlefields.
Oh, fuck. I would watch the fuck out of that.
Right?
Master and gambler.
Patent pending. Fuck you. Strike that from the record also.
There's definitely an Ocean's 11 joke in there, but I can't.
Yeah. So she's like, I don't want to fuck you.
Put it together at home.
They go gambling where they meet number 2 at the blackjack table, along with his personal secretary, a lotta vagina.
And we get the joke? Joke?
I thought you said a lotta vagina. Because it sounds like the word vagina.
Yeah.
Oh, did you just fucking say?
Didn't get it
joke?
the first
Did I
time.
say vagina? Some men find the word confrontational. But so
I like that Austin's just dressed like Austin still. I think it's good.
for
It
sure.
establishes that they're undercover, and then it hard cuts to him just wearing red crushed velvet, and it's just
yeah, you get a bunch of quick hits of topical jokes. His cover name is Richie Cunningham. Vanessa is Oprah. The soup Nazi is the croupier.
I did right. By God, it's the soup Nazi.
It's the soup Nazi. They were like, yeah, we love the way you did that soup Nazi bit. Would you like to have a quite mundane role in a successful British comedy movie?
I thought you were going to pull the drop from when he's walking through the casino and just goes, "Hey, Americans!" I was like,
no, sorry. I simply don't have that. No, shame.
This is where we do get and to be fair, it is quite funny, where I think he plays blackjack against number 2, who has, he's like X-ray eye patch, and I think he's on 17, and he hits and gets a 4, and it's like, oh, I like to live dangerously. And then Austin has 4 and goes, "I'll stay. I also like to live dangerously."
I like that.
It's a good joke because
it's quite funny. Yeah.
And that it's blackjack because no one fucking knows what Shamanda Fair is. It's good. So number 2 excuses himself to go to the bathroom, and Austin follows him in a fine English tradition of bathroom perversion.
Just making sure he's not going into the Canadian one.
Well, he actually says to a dude in there,
No, actually, I'm English.
That's so good. The guy he says that to is my favorite fucking character in the movie.
oh, the Texan bathroom consultant?
Insanely supportive Texan guy.
Yeah. That guy, that
Dude's
exact
rock.
same
Who's
character.
the guy from the Man from Uncle? What the fuck is his name?
Yes, my name is Bentley, ma'am.
Yes!
I'm not even trying.
Oh,
Oh,
Fort Worth, that's in Texas.
Off the dome, yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Bentley is in the fucking building, and in a joke that has come back around again, Austin says, "I'm English," and he says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, he walks in, he sees Austin's outfit, and he's like, "That's one hell of a fancy getup you got there. You part of the show?" And he's like, "No, I'm English." He's like, "I'm sorry."
All right, most juvenile joke that still got a laugh out of me. He sits down in the thing, patio car bombs, tries to kill him with the garrote, and Austin is fighting for his life in there, literally for once.
What I really like is that before the
That's true.
bit even starts, before the patio car bomb shit starts hitting us, I'm so sorry.
You have to diversify this shit. Provo Art Gallery heist.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I was thinking about the next words in my sentence.
Shamrocco pigs under his arms.
I'm just aware that there's an Irish man who
in-groups
can turn the mics off at any time. Even before that shit occurs with Seamus McFinnigan, you get the Texan sits down and he just goes like, "Good luck, buddy," like unprompted. Yeah. And I think that's a fucking true blue homie.
He's like,
that guy's ride or die immediately.
We'll get through this together. And it's like
so good.
the unsolicited shitting counselor who is like, all right, we're going to get through that. Like you're landing a plane.
He's holding my hand through the glory hole.
That's what they're for.
That's what they're for.
It's a real.
God, imagine you're sitting there and you see a hand come.
just squeeze it. Just squeeze my hand.
Just give it some toilet paper.
It's like an emotional glory hole where it's instead of sex, you just like, I just want to hold someone's hand. I don't want to know who you are, but I just want to hold your hand.
I heard you were English, and so I understand that you need help using a bathroom normally. I'm afraid that if I don't help you, you're going to start looking under the stalls for trans
they make
women.
a blind joke as well.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to skip over the blind joke.
So Seamus Heaney lunges at him with the garrote, right? And Austin's grunting and groaning. His feet are getting lifted up off the floor, and the Texan guy's just like, "Oh, buddy, come on, it's gonna be all right." I laughed. I am ashamed to admit it, but I did.
It's
that
good.
one got me.
No,
it was
good. I think
it
it's
was
funny.
funny. It was a good bit. The problem is, this is a movie of sometimes good bits, sometimes bad bits. It's not a fucking movie. It's just not. But he kills the guy. You get the punchline, which is a weak punchline, which is the guy looks in there, sees, Flann O'Connery, and it goes, "Oh, Jesus, man, what did you eat?"
It's like...
Back to Dr. Evil. This is another problem. The movie has too much more fun with Dr. Evil than Austin Powers.
Yes, and this really hampers the second film too.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Look, we've skipped over something that's a core part of this movie. That is the interstitial dance bits.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
What the fuck?
So the vibe with this...
Did they just not know how to end a scene? They just hard cut to Austin Powers' face in macro?
I can explain.
It jump scared me twice.
I also got jump scared, and I can explain, right? The reason is, Austin Powers is something that Mike Myers started with a tribute band with the guitarist from the Bangles called Ming T. So that's his band. He puts his band in the interstitials, and so I see a bunch of women in 60s body paint and fuck all else get so hard I think I have COVID, and then get jump scared by Mike Myers' face.
It keeps cutting into Mike Myers' face.
Real close, really. Oh, God. And every cut in between scenes, it feels like, is this.
But it's always just long enough that you forget that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And it has and it's the shot composition's horrific. It's just hard cuts. It doesn't matter the lighting or anything. It'll just hard cut to Mike Myers' face. And I got every fucking time I make the Metal Gear Solid alarm noise. I was
yeah. Best I've got is the Vine Boom, and I had that because I wanted to do.
I'm English.
but so Dr. Evil holds the UN national costume stereotype room to ransom.
Another Seinfeld guy is Babu in that.
Ah, okay.
I did like how
proving that they do know a brown actor. So why the fuck?
Yeah,
Will Ferrell.
They make Will Ferrell.
Grim. But
I do like the when they cut to the UN and everyone is in their most stereotypical dress. I like that it's equal opportunities offensive.
Yeah, there's a Mountie.
Yeah, there's a Mountie. There's a Scotsman in a kilt. Not the most offensive portrayal of a Scottish person.
We'll see.
We'll get to that.
In groups and out groups. In groups and out groups. But yeah, so he holds them hostage for $1 million because he doesn't know what inflation is. And it's a fun joke the first time. What fucking happens next in this movie?
This is where we get the element of the evil plan that would absolutely definitely work on me.
Ooh,
I don't know. Hang on.
God, I think it might be. Yeah, they go back to Dr. Evil, and Frau Farbissina is like, all right, check this out, big man. I've got a plan. Sexy robots. They're called Fembots.
I just heard someone say the words, nah, that's later.
Fuck. Whatever.
What are we doing here?
We're doing the Fembots.
Whose podcast
I keep
is this?
almost saying Femboys. We're doing...
That's in the second one.
Bring in the Femboys!
What a bit company sergeant major there.
I can't shout in a woman's voice.
They just
I barely shout in
All
mine.
right, bring in the Femboys!
Turn, hunt! 1, 2, 1, 2, blush. There you go. That's the one room joke I'll do.
By the far right. Oh my god. Okay, fine. When they do the Fembots bit, whoever it was who
There's
knew,
definitely a counselling
shout
bit now.
Fembots, and we'll get to it.
We'll get. There's the counselling bit between Scott and his
that
dad.
what it
That's
is?
also
Is that
later
up next? Okay,
because
thank
now
you.
we just check in with the fucking.
It's nice to have.
Nerd alert!
Yes. Yeah.
It's nice to have a resource.
Now
all
we
right?
have Burt Baccarat.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
my
yeah,
fucking
okay.
God.
So they go and they stake out Verticon. They like take a photo of random task, and you get the second instance of a pussy joke, which is he sees the cat and he goes,
I never forget a pussy.
beat,
Dr. Evil has a
beat,
cat.
Cat, right? They had to do this because pussy was the funniest word in the world at that time. They lived in
That's fair.
in primitive times. The CIA hadn't invented the word bussy yet. So if you wanted a cheap laugh out of a room, you had to just go with pussy, and that didn't,
See, it doesn't work.
No,
Pussy.
no, pussy, yeah.
Got them all. Go. See? Don't move.
Perfect.
They, them, pussy.
Hold on a
Ooh,
second.
now it's 2020.
Now
Yeah.
we're talking.
So he takes a few photos of Vanessa because the script remembers that he's supposed to be a photographer. And Vanessa gets her picture taken and she goes, oh, great, I want to fuck you now. This never works. This never works. No one has ever gone, I've had my photo taken with a 35mm camera. Would you like to fuck me now? What do you think I'm doing it for? But it doesn't work. So
They go out, they
Yeah.
enjoy the sights of Las Vegas.
Yep.
And then they go back to the hotel room, and she's cured of being stuck up now.
That's true. Before they do that, they have to introduce Burt Bacharach. And this movie rescued Burt Bacharach's career in his old age.
Not
But-
well enough, apparently.
Well, both then and now it mystified me because I don't know who the fuck Burt Bacharach is.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, songwriter, music guy, kind of loungy. But this
Is he a
apparently...
pre-Michael Bolton?
I don't know, but I tell you what happens to Vanessa after he plays one song.
Warm liquid goo phase begins.
Oh, fuck me. Yeah.
They go back to the hotel. You get a cheap visual gag about them fucking when actually they're playing Twister. And then she gets drunk and she goes, right, please have sex with me now. And you get the kind of thing that makes a 17-year-old on Tumblr go, I actually think Austin Powers would be transpositive, which is he does the minimum.
Or even better, the take that I have seen, which is that Austin Powers is a trans man.
That's the basis of my costume. What do you mean that's...
I mean, that really puts a whole extra gloss on the I'm English, I'm sorry conversation, doesn't it? In the men's room. But so she goes, please fuck me now. And he does the minimum necessary legal thing.
He won't do it. He's woke.
We'll get, yeah.
I'm watching through binoculars.
We will get you a medal. Austin Powers respects consent, right? And my question is, does he? He says, no, I can't have sex with you because you're drunk. And it's like, is that good? Was that good in 1997? I don't think so. Like, especially because the way it's filmed is don't have sex with a drunk person. Not because that's inherently wrong, right? But because you will be rewarded with a nice, wistful, romantic moment, which he gets, right? She like falls asleep on him.
And
It's
also
like,
later pussy.
yeah, he gets. Well, the thing is, right? I was going to trail
Yeah,
that
it's
a
like
bit more.
Jack in Mass Effect 2. You have to refuse the first time, and then you can romance her later on.
In some cultures, it's considered polite to refuse the pussy 3 times. Oh, Christ. I've just realized a joke in Austin Powers 2 is much more racist than I thought it was.
We'll get there. Slow down. We'll get there. Don't worry.
So the way I was going to trail this was to go, about the only thing you could do worse is immediately make him have compensatory sex with a woman of lesser perceived value.
Yes.
Thank God for that.
Because she's Italian.
She is.
And I'm looking at the man from Uncle Clock of Are Italians White?
Yeah, the answer's no in this one, folks. So Basil calls him up and is like, sorry to hear that you were not willing to commit sexual assault. Would you like to go and fuck this other woman instead? Please break into a lot of vaginas penthouse. And we're going to say vagina a bunch more. And then, do some spying, which he does.
He takes some pictures of the files. It is quite a funny joke that he's like taking pictures of her secret files and talking to them as if they're models. Like,
I like that.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
Yeah, that is good. And then a lot of vagina enters, detects him, and we get a seduction.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
please.
movie's
go
at its best. Oh, jeez. This movie's at its best
put a
when it's
spotlight on
pastiching. Please do not put a spotlight. It's at its best when it's pastiching. It's at its best when it's like, here's an event that happened in a James Bond movie, but we've put this man in there instead. Like,
Isn't
that's
that
good.
weird? What if he had fucked teeth?
So, like, they're in the hot tub, and then a lot of vagina says the phrase from You Only Live Twice, which is, in Japan, men come first and women second.
And then
I'm like, cool, yeah. I remember that from the movie.
And the added second punchline is, or sometimes not at all. And it's like, weak shit. Also, you know how I know that You Only Live Twice is Mike Myers' favorite Bond movie? Because he keeps fucking copying it in all of these.
Yeah.
Every single one of these movies, there's a bit where it's like, it's time to go to Japan now, and I put my head in my fucking hand. This isn't Japan. This is a Japanese-themed penthouse in Vegas, which sounds like the most fucked vibes on the face of the fucking planet.
Weeb Mike Myers. he's doing like Rising Sun shit.
Yeah. I don't appreciate knowing about the existence of weeb Canadians. That particular overlap on the Venn diagram, very threatening.
I don't feel comfortable just knowing about Canadians in general.
No. But she gets into the hot tub. It's not sexist for me to point out that two giant 90s breast implants just floating on the surface of that water. They hadn't dialed in the surface tension of those yet, and man, it's noticeable. And he does a couple of more racist Japanese jokes. There's a joke about how sake sounds like sucky, which is
if you say it like that.
If you say it wrong.
Yeah.
I can say any word wrong and make it sound like any other word. That's the capacity that I have.
Crazy.
He also he farts.
He does.
He does, and then he has a little soliloquy about it as well.
Yeah, a little like child's.
I skipped
doggerel
through that. I was
poem.
hitting the button really liberally.
But he fucks him is the main thing. This is off screen, which is I don't know. Whatever. I didn't need to see. I didn't need to see Austin Powers' dick and balls.
And where a different movie might have sorry, you really just took me out there.
The jump scare that they hit you with.
They hit you with a jump scare.
Oh, you think that's his hand? Okay.
I did, yeah. I really did think that was his hand.
Resting them on your shoulder.
Oh, God. What the hell was that? Yeah. Where a different movie might do the classic, like fade to black, train going through a tunnel, flower opening, something. This has a hard cut to Mike Myers' face, as close as you can fucking imagine it.
POV, you
Genuinely
are a loss of vagina.
fucked me up.
Yeah.
What the pussy see?
Oh, no, the pussy is not seeing that. The face is nowhere near the pussy, I'll be honest. I don't think Austin Powers is pussy. No. So now
Bad
someone
editing
gets to
is
shout.
not a joke.
Fucking no, none of you cowards. Fembots.
I'm sorry, I spoke over it.
Now is
Do you want to
Fembots
take that
time.
again from the top?
No, it's fine. If anyone just wants to shout Fembots at any time, you can do that.
No, you can't. I want to be very clear that you can't.
It's great setting you up for that. Yeah, so Frau Farbissina is like, yo, check this shit out. I have the technology to make a squad of 10 out of 10 baddies with gun barrels that come out of their bras.
They're all blonde and American, and I've written down this would work on me.
Yeah, blonde. American. Sexbot.
The electric psychedelic
And there are 4 of them.
Yeah, it's true. And she's like, yeah, no man, including Austin Powers, will be able to resist them.
I'm just like really worried by the labeling of Austin Powers hate crime.
I have hate crime 1 and I have hate crime 2.
Yeah, we have 2 Austin Powers hate crimes here.
When are we gonna? Oh no!
Yeah,
They'll show up.
We'll get
I've definitely got at least one note about a hate crime.
But so the thing is, right? I read the script, which they didn't shoot, and man, second Austin Powers movie, they trailed the existence of he-bots. Which leads me to think...
They come out of a dick and balls. Like a shotgun.
They do! In the script that was cut, they do that.
Genuinely.
Which means Goldmember very strongly trailing the possibility of they-them bots.
The bullet come out of the...
Impossible to know.
Tits and dick. Best of both worlds.
Wait, what?
It's never mind. It's a tweet.
But truly, they could not handle they them pussy.
Nerd alert!
So Austin has to go back to the hotel and he needs to learn a valuable lesson about intimacy in the 90s by making Vanessa jealous and boy crazy.
Yeah, because they have a Q scene.
Movies.
They have a Q scene where they go and get gadgets from Basil Exposition.
Yeah, here's a watch that doesn't do anything. Here's some toothpaste and shit. Is that a gadget? No, you just have fucked up teeth.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then Basil's mother is there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Why is this in the film?
So,
Well, I'll tell you why. This film...
Hate Crime 2.
Well, Hate Crime 2 just for the sake of it.
It's a man, baby!
Fair enough.
the line.
There it is. We've all heard of setup, reminder, payoff, right? We're all cinephiles here. We know this. This movie has a little technique I like to call setup, reminder. Where if it thinks the joke is funny enough, it'll do it again.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. You'll never see that shit again. There's a number of these fucking things.
Oh, yeah. This is just the most prominent one.
No, the most prominent one is the fucking henchman thing.
Oh, Christ,
They
you're
do
right.
about 2 times and there's no payoff to it.
Well, a second transphobic hate crime has struck the live show. And yeah, it really hammers this joke home. And he punches Basil's mother, who is a woman. The wig doesn't come off. Austin is wrong, which again makes it less transphobic than it appears. But no one remembers that because everyone remembers.
It's a man, baby!
Like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
But now, if anyone ever does tweet that to you, you can just be like, oh, actually, Austin was wrong in that scene.
Yeah, and then they go,
Nerd alert!
Yeah.
and you just have to...
a really effective strategy if someone is like threatening to
Yeah,
kill you is to
actually,
just be
you're
like,
wrong.
well, I think you'll find that the reference you're making
proving
is
my point,
actually
actually.
inaccurate in a number
debate
of
champ.
ways.
Yeah. So at this point, we have to intercut with Dr. Evil and Scott going to therapy. And
This is a really sweet scene.
yeah, it's fun. We learn a bit about Dr. Evil's background, which is mostly the jokes are European guys are weird, which is true.
That's true.
He's asked to give his story, and the joke is that it's like an incredibly specific thing. Like he was raised by like Belgian pastry chefs. And like,
Insanely fucked up childhood.
and it's like
he
it's
has
normal.
like a shorn scrotum, which
My
he
childhood
just
was
was
like any
bracing,
other.
which is true. Someone leaving at that.
Fair enough.
I knew that was something I had to do tonight.
Yeah, and of course,
When I was insolent, I was placed in a burlap bag and beaten with reeds. Pretty standard, really.
again,
It's
me
very
in the group
Trumpy,
chat,
isn't
yeah.
it?
But so the other thing to note here is
Beaten
that
with
the
reeds, very
therapist,
sad, folks.
Very sad. The other thing to note is
Okay, I
that
promise I won't try to do a Trump impression again. Sorry, everyone.
no, it's fine.
I let the team down. I'm not going to do that to me.
So the therapist is Carrie Fisher. Now, you may be aware
It is, isn't it?
that Carrie Fisher, apart from everything else, was renowned in Hollywood as a script doctor.
You dog!
I just had that up the sleeve the whole time. Carrie Fisher did a lot of script doctoring on Star Wars because, as Harrison Ford famously said, you can write this shit, George, but you can't say it. And so
Yeah, Star Wars has always been weird as shit.
Yeah.
It's always been fucking strange.
George Lucas blasting Sing. No.
The opinions of Devon do not represent the opinions of Kids on the podcast. Star Wars is a very great property. You should all watch it.
I'm simply saying it's not weird to have Lizzo and Jack Black in an episode because it's always been
that's
shit.
like the floor
I'm
of
defending Star
You
Wars
can have
here.
anyone
Disney.
in an episode of deciding sex. You never know.
Anyone you want can show up, baby.
Almost
Who knows?
anyone.
You never know. The only way to find out is to just watch all of it. Get a Disney Plus subscription.
Disney Plus, just consume all of that content. There's so much. There's so much content, folks.
All great stuff.
So Carrie Fisher, right? She did a lot of script doctoring on Star Wars. My contention is, I don't think it's out with the realms of possibility that she worked this over and went, you can't do the racial slur. You can't do the called sex workers now bit. You can't do that, Mike, stop it. Now, I'm not going to say that Carrie Fisher failed us for the next two movies.
There's a reason she wasn't in them. They were like, do not let Carrie Fisher see this script.
Yes.
She's going to make her take out all the racial slurs.
Yeah, edited against
It would have
his
been
will.
20 minutes long.
Yeah. But so,
Oh, God, it's a tight 80 minutes.
So Dr. Evil, his character is being European is weird, which is true. Looking forward to making an entire character out of it in the same franchise. At which point, Austin and Vanessa go on the Virtucon tour to try and infiltrate the lab. Yes.
I want to highlight, in that scene, it ends in the greatest way you could possibly end a scene, which is Carrie Fisher goes, we have to stop, and then it hard cuts away. And I'm like, that's the best way to end a scene, is just be like, we're done now.
I don't even think that was a line. I think she just said it.
they left that one in. She was like,
yeah, just stop. I don't really support the thing of putting actors and things after they die. It always feels a bit creepy to me, but I think all movies should end that way.
just Carrie Fisher walks on and is like, all right, folks, back it up.
They should re-release the second two films and like CGI reanimate Carrie Fisher into it to make it better.
Carrie Fisher as a Force ghost going, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It's over. So at this
Soundtrack
point,
available in the lobby at Figo Place. But Bacharach, everyone.
So at this point, they go on a tour to try and infiltrate Virtucon, and Vanessa is very jealous. And what Austin does is some vintage 90s slut shaming, where he's like, this woman that I slept with, you know what? She meant nothing to me because she was a slut. She was the village bicycle, he says. And therefore, it meant nothing. Don't worry about it because I'm in love with you. I just take that for your own parasocial purposes. Yeah. I only have eyes for you, listener.
I love you,
your
Anon.
name. There you go.
Wow, Anon, that's so interesting.
But yeah, Vanessa is very jealous because she's like, I want you to be my partner. And it's the 90s, Austin, and she tells him off, and he has to have a sad montage of watching like the moon landing,
Austin,
and a bunch of other shit.
We're monogamous in the 90s.
Yeah.
And he's like, not groovy, baby.
Yeah.
And he just like has tears down his face.
Austin, the CIA have not yet invented polyamory to try and destabilize Western leftist groups.
They're bringing it back, the first time and the second time. It's you don't get to hear that joke. So
I didn't
also,
hear it either.
Yeah, I should also say, Mike Myers is at this point wearing a turban and a fake beard because Mike Myers thinks there's two nations in this world that are funnier than Ireland and Scotland, Japan and India. And oh, buddy, you want to talk about outgroups. And the India stuff, it just keeps coming because they infiltrate the lab and he's like, I'm going to do some hypnosis that I learned in India.
He's dressed in brownface. That's why we mentioned the Indian thing, by the way. They disguises as they do the tour. It's just like, he's very,
From my guru. And like, I can see what they're gesturing towards in the 60s. Every fucker had a guru, Rishikesh, all of that shit. Fine, but whatever. But like, he literally did brownface for this. And you got Will Ferrell to do brownface for this, which is, once is alarming, twice, depressing. But so
3 times the brown face. Ladies and gentlemen, Burt Bacharach.
He's here tonight.
Take that shit off your face.
But before we talked about this,
Yeah, smash cut to Carrie Fisher being like, no, stop it. But so
we're going to keep making that joke and it's going to make no fucking sense to every audience after this.
Yeah. The alarm gets raised immediately. They shoot a bunch of guys, and most notably, they do the funniest gag in the movie, which is running over a guy with a steamroller. And the steamroller is miles away, and he's like, and lasts forever. Very good joke.
In a
Highly
movie.
commend it to you. Not as enjoyable in comedy podcast about the movie form.
But then they cut to, and I do quite like this, they cut to the family of this goon, who are like so stereotypical, like perfect suburban, like the mum's taking a pie out of him, like the kid like bicycles home, like little Billy, and they get the call. It's like, yes, my husband's a henchman at Dr. Evil's factory. And then they learn that he's been run over by a steamroller. And
funny.
that is funny.
It's funny.
And
It is
again,
funny.
they do it twice. They do
do a
setup,
second
reminder.
Yeah, and imagine doing jokes about henchmen. It's embarrassing stuff, really. But yeah, no, this one is certified funny, and it's at this point that I begin to feel like the feminism inspector. I'm going down with my clipboard, and I'm like, "That's funny."
Freeze! Feminism inspector!
Yeah, that one's funny. That one's funny. You can let
don't
that
have to
one
let them
through.
in.
The brown face. No, you simply do not have to do it. But I will say one thing: they do a decent.
I just imagine Jordan Peterson like terrified in his house, like with a gun and a tank top as the feminist inspector's like, "We know you're in there." Feminism inspector.
You don't have to let them in.
Don't have to let them
Never
in.
take me alive.
No, the feminism inspection SWAT team. But one thing I will say is they do a decent Ken Adams set.
Tropes versus women in your house.
Yeah, so they immediately get captured by random task. He just bonks their heads together. And they get put in the quasi-futuristic costumes that villains love to put Bond and Bond girls in. Scott pioneers the just shoot him bit at this point. He's like, he's right there. You could just do it.
He's like, I've got a gun in my room. You give me like a minute. I'll go get a gun and we'll shoot him.
He's like, you could build a fairly successful podcast off of this one joke. At some point, we'll come up with the second one. Please keep paying.
We could. You could.
Yay, capitalism.
You don't have the vision to create a joke based around what if you just shot him?
No, it's us and Mike Myers. It's an uneasy siblinghood. Yeah. And let me tell you, at this point in the movie, it drags so badly. Because most of the jokes are Dr. Evil says a word weird, or he's like disappointed by a guy and he goes, right.
Yeah, because now they're actually having to like wrap up the film.
Yeah, they're having to make a movie.
Yeah, you have to like write a film.
The
like
plot
the stakes.
arrives and they're like, oh, fuck.
Yes.
Oh shit, this guy, like, yeah. So Austin and Vanessa get imprisoned above a tank, but it's not sharks, it's sea bass.
Can't get the staff these days.
Very funny.
Yeah. We have 2 1/3 movies left of this, by the way.
And then
I hope you're excited.
They escape easily. They throw a guy in the sea bass.
Yeah, Austin does like set up reminder, where he does too many one-liners.
I like this.
But none of the one-liners land, so it just doesn't work for me.
In a movie, and this is my theory, in a movie you can do 2 or 3 like good jokes that go a bit too long. Like they can come back around. I think the steamroller coming towards the guy is funny. We don't need like 80.
No. And
That
after a
can't
while,
be your main punchline is we'll just keep doing this for a bit.
yeah, and after a while,
And see if it gets funny again.
It's all that.
It's all that. We're going to be insane on the Goldfinger one.
Oh yeah,
It's going to look like day 10 of the Russian sleep experiment in this fucking room.
Day 10 of the Russian Austin Powers experiment.
You know what we should do? We should add an Austin Powers each night. So the last night, there's 3 of them behind us, just like, oh God.
Yeah, and we're going to set this through like JPEGifiers as well. It's going to get lower and lower quality. We'll do that.
Night, the eyes are red and bleeding, like Ben drowned shit.
Yeah. So we go to the second instance. The second instance of the henchman family gag, which is Rob Lowe, a guy I see.
I've seen him.
He was on the West Wing, and he was certainly present.
He's in the movie.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back. Later
That's
in the
true,
series.
he will. But Rob Lowe and the boys
The joke word.
are at Femboy Hooters, and they get the news that their boy is dead. And
Gentle titter at Femboy Hooters. Nothing major. Just
I have to work so much harder than I thought I would. Yeah, so
Tough being a podcaster.
I know.
it's
I know.
really difficult,
The
actually.
worst part
to
is
me.
you had a better punchline for Femboy Hooters than I did, and I don't want to steal it. So I just want to I was trying
She's
to set you
forgotten.
up
I can
for
see her face.
it. Fuck me.
Steal it.
It was Fembot Hooters.
Ah.
Thank you.
Is that a punch?
Well, we're going to make it 5 more times. It was Fembot Hooters.
Alice, did you just say Fembot Hooters?
That's right, Devin. I said Fembot Hooters.
Carrie Fisher walks on stage. That's enough of that.
Carrie Fisher walks on stage, kills all of us. Thank God.
Fair enough.
It's a mercy at this point. So, Christ, they escape
That
from
was real.
They escape from the thing. No, it drags in the last act so badly.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of things happen, but none of them are funny.
Yeah, which is a weakness. Yeah.
Sort of what you want in the movie. Where the apotheosis of this fucking man's character arc is, he instead does a song and dance towards the Fembot.
Yeah, so Vanessa escapes. We get a gratuitous shot of her climbing a ladder in a short skirt,
Yes,
which I'm not
we
a fan
do.
of.
No, I'm not.
And then Austin meets the Fembots and heroically overcomes them by doing a striptease. I do kind of like that the hero saves the day by being silly.
I do too. Also, it's a nice reversal of Bond gets to be a male sex symbol all the time, but never in a way that makes him vulnerable or ridiculous or exploited.
There is a cleverness to it.
You seldom see until Daniel Craig Bond in his underwear, for instance. Unless it's Sean Connery beating the local wildlife to death with a shoe. And even then, he's
I'm
wearing
pretty
a
happy
robe.
to have not seen more.
Yeah,
Just underwear.
if you were watching the movies and you're I really wanted to see the outline of Roger Moore's cock.
Okay, well, you know that I was, and I asked you to cut that every time I mentioned it.
Yeah, it was weird to do it after the bit about old Roger Moore too.
He got so old.
Yeah,
I don't have a punchline for this bit. So,
no,
what else happens in the movie?
Well, he destroys the Fembots by being sexier than them. Which is a fun bit. And then Vanessa, who is at this point wearing a leather catsuit, which is almost as much as Abby's Night 3 outfit.
It's nowhere near my Night 3 outfit. Is anyone here coming back on Night 3? Fucking brace yourself.
Nice.
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
those of
Zero
you are going to
discount.
get to see some things that you didn't see on Roger Moore.
I got mesh. It's going to be good.
Yeah,
have mesh.
the dress stays this long. I'm sorry, Anon. I
People
really
are going to
am.
be fighting for these 3 seats right now.
When we start serving hard enough, we're going to remove the cloth from the table.
Just yank it up a little bit, hike it up, but we're wading across a river. Yeah.
I just realized we haven't actually mentioned Dr. Evil's plan, have
Oh,
we?
for fuck's sake!
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's going to put a nuke in the core of the Earth and cause all the volcanoes on Earth to blow up. But he's got a big
dumb.
drill. It looks like a dick and balls. They managed to stop it just in time. Great.
Whatever. Yeah, for sure. So, the catsuit's nowhere near your Night 3 outfit because it's got legs, right? But, it's still impressive with Liz Hurley. She walks in on him and the Fembot he has killed and is, briefly jealous. And he has to be no, this was a mass murder that I did. I didn't fuck them in a way that made their heads explode. This was fine, whatever. At which point we get a lazy gay joke because one of the soldiers who's with her, kind of looks back around the door in a way that I think you're supposed to laugh at rather than laugh with, you know?
Yeah, that happens in the second movie as well. We'll get
Yeah, a
to that.
lot of cheap gay jokes.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher must have missed that one.
Yeah, so
Snuck it
they...
in behind her.
I know. But so they destroy the thing at the last second. Dr. Evil goes to escape. And Austin holds him up with a gun. And now I can deploy my political theory because he goes, all the shit that you were doing in the 60s has fucked the world right up, hasn't it, my son? Hasn't it? Yeah, he sounds exactly like that.
It's Aslan. He's like, we're not so different, are we?
Fucked it right up, hasn't it, son? Because you had all of this freedom and stuff, and what did you do with it? It led you here to me, to the 90s.
Thatcherism.
That's right.
It was his
60s
poison treasure.
Yeah.
Toxic treasure.
Toxic. It was my father's toxic treasure.
It was his
which in my head
toxic
now, because I'm just
treasure.
doing Dave Courtney bits, I hear in his voice. It was my father's toxic treasure. So, yeah, the 60s boomer hedonism has fucked the world.
I let that die on its ass. I'm sorry. I could have got in on that.
It's all right. It's all right.
Sorry.
He hits Austin with
There's nothing more pathetic than an aging hipster.
which I like that we see gets through to Austin. He's like wounded by it. But so, yeah, Austin makes a defense of the 90s where he's like, no, we have freedom and responsibility, man. It's a very groovy time. This is a movie about Tonty fucking Blair. It's
9/11's never gonna happen, baby.
Yeah. Okay. So, how many of you have seen the movie Charlie Wilson's War? Right. At the end of Charlie Wilson's War, there is a sound effect of a plane over the end credits to indicate that 9/11 is happening.
They should do that with every movie as well. Like,
Yeah,
we should get the Carrie Fisher.
Carrie
being
Fisher
like,
says, "Go
movie's
home."
over. 9/11's about to happen, and then the sound of a plane.
Yeah, and in my head, I hear the Charlie Wilson's War 9/11 sound effects over this because, yeah, baby, the 2000s, right? They're going to be the 60s again, but responsibly. And
The 20s are going to be so roaring.
yeah, let me tell you, we did not manage 60s hedonism, but responsibly. We didn't even manage the but responsibly part. We managed the austerity part.
We didn't get any damn
No,
any damn hedonism.
we had to wait for China to reinvent polyamory. We had to wait for
Thank you so much, Chairman Z. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I'm the only monogamous.
Please send polyamorous baddies.
I am the token monogamous member of Killjoy.
Yeah.
That has never been officially confirmed.
There's a sort of graph of
We're all
polyamory
single.
here where it's like,
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm monogamous and I'm polygamous and I'm dating every listener
That's right. That's right.
independently.
I'm saving myself for the listener.
We all, yes, we're all
On night
wearing
3.
empty lockets around our necks for your picture to go right here.
The top Patreon tier.
Yeah.
Yay, capitalism.
Yeah, that's a little sort of DS for me. The top Patreon tier being we have to fucking wear an eternity collar. I don't care for that sort of thing at all.
Some Liz Trust level shit.
I'm not fucking top tier. We
Liz
will
Truss in tonight. That's a surprise.
Oh, Liz, where art thou?
God.
What a fucking time.
It's a damn shame. It truly is. But yeah, so at this point, number 2 is leaving with a fembot in a suitcase, which is
That's a
a funny
funny
joke.
joke,
It's a funny joke. The boots are sticking out. A loss of vagina shows up and takes Vanessa hostage. Justin takes fucking Scott hostage. And Dr. Evil goes, yeah, I don't give a shit.
You can hear the podcast audibly losing steam.
Yes.
We're like,
Yeah.
because so
everyone
did the
double
movie.
crosses
Like,
everyone.
it's just like, well, then the rest of the movie happens and we're done. But it's like, it's
Dr.
really
Evil.
shit, lads.
Yeah. Dr. Evil escapes. I don't remember how. I don't remember what happens to a
genuinely
lot of
don't
vagina
remember how.
either.
Oh, Jesus,
She's
no.
probably dead.
Yeah,
A lot of these films are just really similar, which is difficult.
yeah, they fucking killed Mustafa, a bit we didn't even remember until now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, should we talk about it? So they kill him and it takes him a while to die.
Long time.
That's the joke.
He spends most of his time sort of like screaming in pain, which has been much like this experience for me. Austin does the racist martial arts noise from Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
he-
And the tuxedo.
That's true, yeah. He kung fu's a guy, he judo chops a guy. And then Dr. Evil escapes.
So I just want to say, I studied judo for 7 years. As a child, I really enjoyed it, actually. I got a lot out of it. It was a good sport. I wasn't very sporty as a child. And I did...
Nerd alert!
I did it. It meant a lot to me, is the point. And every time I ever told anyone that, well, like, what do you do? What do you do? Actually,
So,
I'm
like,
really
I have
enjoying.
this drop here on an iPad.
Yeah, but every time I ever told anyone that I was doing judo, they would always go judo chop, and I was just like,
So the people
You think that's bad? I do.
So she know chops and judo. She
Yeah,
means
you
the
think that's
gentle
bad?
way.
I'm a trans woman. Like,
You think that's bad? I do kickboxing. You know what's just kickboxing? Andrew fucking Tate. It's not
this
a good
is rich guy
crowd.
I do
water.
want to see that fight though.
I think you could take him.
As I have publicly stated, not only could I beat Andrew Tate in a fight, but I also have infinite love for the tapestry of humanity, which makes me better than him in his value system and mine. And
On home turf.
I didn't go to prison in Romania for trafficking people either, which is the value system of Romania.
So in the grand list of like people offended justly by this movie, we've got trans people, we've got English people, got Scottish people, Irish people, Japanese people, Indian people, judoka, the city and county of Las Vegas,
The British.
Yeah, that too.
Sure.
I think that's everyone. Me personally,
That's everyone. I've run out of notes, so that must be the end of the movie.
Yeah.
No, there's the honeymoon.
Yes, yeah, they have the honeymoon. You're
Because
not rid of
they
it
get
yet. No.
married, and Austin's like, monogamy. That sounds great.
Yeah,
Sounds
but there's a
groovy,
henchman
baby.
they've forgotten
I
about.
can't do an Austin, which is a problem. But yeah, so what happens is they kleb the situation, or possibly they Winton kid the situation, which is Bond is like...
There is an attempted klebbing
but
of the situation.
Police have announced an attempted klebbing. Which
Attempted klebbing? What is that, a crime?
which is James Bond is in the gaff with a lot of vagina or whatever after the fact, and then the villain we forgot about comes to try to kill them.
Yeah,
in
but
this
they
case,
do it with fucking teehee as well, right? Like,
Jeez,
all
they
the way
do.
back in the
Yeah.
This
They
is their
do.
favorite thing. They're like, fuck, we forgot a guy.
Knick-knack.
yeah.
Nick,
And
oh my
in this
God.
case, it's random task.
Random.
Who
Oh, fuck.
is back
A
on
sinister
screen.
presence when you know what we now know about random.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
appears on the screen, and I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah, he like stalks towards the hotel, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ. But so he fucking
He brings them
throws a
champagne
shoe.
in their honeymoon suite after they've been shagging.
Yes.
And then attacks
Under
them.
a cloche is a shoe because his bit is throwing a shoe, which leads to the line, who throws a shoe, really?
I didn't even think that was a joke.
So that George W. Bush in the house tonight?
I mean, these boots are hurting enough. You may find a shoe thrown at you at this point.
But Austin defeats him with the penis pump.
Yes, he does, with the...
Swedish-made penis enlarger pump.
Because,
a payoff.
Yeah.
We did it! We wrote a 3-part joke.
Carrie Fisher lobbied for that penis
And
pump
all
to be
it took
included.
was just like a little bit of racism. Just
A little bit. He puts the penis pump on the guy's penis through his pants and like fucking pumps the shit out of it until the guy's about to come, and then he gets hit in the back of the head by Liz Hurley with a bottle, which... Whatever, same difference. I don't care. I'm almost done with this movie. I will say my last note here says, well, goodbye. What do you mean 2 more nights? Like, they do a bit where they fucking hold shit up in front of the camera in front of Liz Hurley's
a second
tits.
time. Yeah, again, set up, reminder.
Oh, yeah. But there was a bit we didn't even mention, but we will
There's
have
a
to because
bit
they
that we
do it
didn't
in the
even
later
mention.
film as well. Like
We are
Austin's
so
walking
bad
around
at
naked in the
this.
background.
We
and
have,
then
we
like
have fucked this
things keep
quite
like covering
badly.
his
Well, no, we
dick.
haven't fucked this quite badly. The problem is, it's really difficult to do a podcast where the whole like thrust of it is you're explaining visual jokes.
That's true.
Like it sucks shit
All
to
right,
do.
check
It's
this
sucked
shit
in
out.
top
Picture
secret.
this in your head. It's a guy, right?
What
but
if he was
he's-
naked?
He's European.
Ooh.
Huh?
Ooh.
It's not... Ugh.
Sorry. I said what if he was... I said what if he was...
$1 million.
Yeah.
Didn't even use
cool.
that one. Fuck's sake.
$1 million.
And that's the movie.
That's
And
the
that's
movie.
the movie.
However, we have a science-based system on this podcast. It's called the SCUM system. Stands for SMARM, cultural
Ceremonial
insensitivity,
Union Jack
unprovoked
pen.
violence, and misogyny. So, on a scale of 1 to 7, how smarmy is the movie Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery? Are there integers high enough, known to mathematics?
Because me to pieces, man. What's the highest we've ever rated? This is such a
8.
rude thing to ask.
No,
because we don't have the note. What's the highest we've ever rated something for smart?
We've rated an 8 before.
I think so. Is it fair to do that with the comedy, which like kind of has to be a bit pleased with itself?
If it doesn't live up to
we
itself.
take points off for being sincere,
yes.
which it wasn't.
Oh.
So yes, I would say it is.
Yeah, it's like too scared to do anything sincere. So yeah, 8.
I'm racking my brain to do anything sincere.
Well, he doesn't sexually assault a woman, which is very sincere of him.
Is it sincere about the freedom and responsibility?
No.
No?
No.
Huh?
The song is?
Oh.
It's got us there.
All right, knock a point or two off then. Fine. What am I?
I'd like to 1 point off for that.
Not only am I getting the shit kicked out of me not remembering what happens in this movie, but the audience is scoring points off me.
We are going to study the second movie with a fucking fine tooth. We're not getting a single thing wrong.
Well, actually, what's really going to happen is I'm going to remember to bring my notebook tomorrow night.
That'd be helpful.
The secret linchpin that holds it all together, Abby's notebook.
I left my notebook.
Apparently wasn't that fucking valuable, was it? Sorry, I don't mean to do sort of like hostile like people management on stage.
I defended you when you were doing the long bit about how ugly you are, and what do I get from it?
Yeah.
No, to be fair, all of my notes were dog shit. So
let's see here.
Don't look at my fucking notes.
6.
We're not. No,
this is not a democracy.
No.
Down, boy.
You got 1 good point in.
Never
or 1
again.
point
Never
off,
again.
I should say.
No. We're putting a divider up between you and us. Like a
big
cab
plexiglass
driver.
wall.
Yeah.
Soundproof. We're not even going to turn the mics on. It's going to be great.
You know that sign in cabs that's like, when light is red, driver can hear you. It's off. Whole time. We cannot hear you.
Cultural insensitivity, dare I ask?
Oh no. It's high. It's real high.
It's high.
It's not as high as some of these movies, but on the other hand, I don't want to grade on a curve. So
I don't think I can give it less than 7. We've got brown face.
I mean, brown face is pretty bad.
Is it fair to grade it on the thing that was cut from the script, which is the inventing a racial slur?
Which again, we won't repeat it. You have to look that up yourselves.
Yes.
But no, if it's not in the movie, it's like author's dead, isn't it? Like if it's not on the screen, then I don't care.
Same as the Curbs.
That's right. Curbs are dead.
7?
7.
I remember the curb thing.
7.
Live and Let Die was an 8. Is this as offensive as Live and Let Die?
Yes.
Then it's an 8.
All right.
Okay.
Unprovoked violence.
This is where it's going to get saved, isn't it? This is where he's going to escape by the skin of his fucked up teeth.
It's very low. Like
they unfuck his teeth for the later ones as well.
I know, it's fucked. He shoots a bunch of henchmen, but they are trying to kill him. The guy with the steamroller, the whole joke is he had plenty of time to get out of the way. The bass guy was not a necessary kill, right? Like, I don't think you had to have the guy's head bitten off.
We can't have the fulcrum of our argument be the bass guy.
Yeah, because you've got to have someone get eaten by the animal. Like,
someone's got to get eaten by the what the fuck was it? Sea bass.
Mutated sea bass. Ill-tempered.
Ill-tempered. That's the
the best thing about these bits is when you remember them at the end of the show.
One thing that can be said as to be an improvement over a lot of the James Bond films is he doesn't punch a. I just remembered. Yes, he does. He does it twice.
That's a man.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
Yeah, unprovoked violence. Yeah, two times.
Twice.
Yes.
Twice.
No, 2 times.
The first was an assassin.
Straight up unprovoked.
The first one was an assassin.
Doesn't matter. He had no way of knowing. He just goes. Just 0 to 100. Just goes on it.
Yeah. Okay. So 2.
Sure.
Basil's mum.
4.
Anyone else?
No,
4 is too high.
3.
2.
3 is
2.
I'm struggling to think of any other
auctioneer.
violence.
What do we reckon, boys? What about 3 or 2?
2. I heard 2.
Okay, fine. 2.
Good.
And misogyny. I think
25,000.
1 million.
I'm at least, this shows how long we've been doing this podcast and what it's like to do. I am at least refreshed by a different kind of misogyny.
It's like a cleanser.
After a year or two of like drinking hot poison, you're like, nice cold refreshing poison.
The 90s misogyny, I'm like, oh, interesting. Like, it's a new, we've moved on.
Cold sick. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Fuck right off.
Delightful.
Yeah, but you're right about the kind of like, oh, feminism has gone too far. Like, and we need to like,
we
bring it
need
back
some
with
like
some
some
60s.
groovy cats who will like make women realize that they secretly want to be fucked.
Yeah, and
It's
then
like, since when? No, I
be
don't.
nice.
I want to get choked to death by a fembot.
Yeah. You'd come back on Saturday.
Yeah.
When?
Sorry, we're going to
When?
kill Alex Alexander.
Thank God I welcome it. I welcome it.
But yeah,
No, we need you. You're the fulcrum of the entire,
there's a lot of
the
like,
entire Neighbor 30 universe.
I'm sorry I said the thing about your notes.
Fuck you.
I deserve this.
there is also, I think, something to be said in terms of like, we're like making fun of the fact that the women in the original Bond films are just kind of like robots, and it's like you're just kind of doing the same thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, but you can't do that and also then just like do it as well. Like you can't have the two different pastiches where you're like, they treat them like robots and then like do it as well. It's like
the Liz Hurley climbing a ladder shot. I'm like, that's a point on it.
Yeah, it's just fully explosive. And
the cats, the like zip on the cat suit, which I am one to talk. But that's
you don't know how she felt about that, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Although she did apparently ask and receive to keep the cat suit. So, which is a move. It's a powerful move. But yeah, I want to say this is like an 8.
Yes, I think I agree.
Okay. I listen to women, so. Thank you. I've made that joke 10 times so far over the course of this podcast.
Popped off every time.
Every single fucking
Every
That
time.
gives us a total score of 24, which by the standards of the podcast is pretty bad, but not the worst we've ever had. I think the worst ones we've ever had are still Live and Let Die and Atomic Blonde, which I think are like 28.
Yeah. Do any of you freaks have them in your head?
Don't you fucking
like if someone out there knows, no. If they know,
No, I love it.
You're not. I'm not calling you that unless you know in your head what the highest scoring movies we've done are.
I think it's pretty easy because it was Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, Atomic Blonde and Live and Let Die.
Like it came out yesterday.
Okay.
I posted it. I remember this.
Damn. I guess you're all freaks then. Bye.
We've been Kill James Bond. I'll do it.
No shit. That's literally all I had to say about
Yeah,
it.
Carrie Fisher walks on stage and is like, and we're done. So thank you ever so much for coming. It's been a treat.
Thank you.
Yeah, do we have anything else to add about Austin Powers, the first
2
one?
more days.
1,000 years of Kill James Bond. Kill James Bond unto the dying light.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank
coming.
you for coming on,
Thank you to
Stratham.
the Stratham Sprace. Sprace?
Thank you to Streatham, a place that is
Yes.
in London. And good
Thank you
luck
to
getting
the
home at this fucking time.
Space Project and all of the lovely people there for helping us out and hosting us. It's an absolute pleasure, and we'll be back tomorrow night with The Spy Who Shagged Me. We have been Kill James Bond. Good night.
I'm English.